Hello. Welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 5. It took me a second. This is episode 527. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I am Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. Today is April the 18th, 2021. I forget what I usually say after that.
It was gorgeous outside today.
I was out for a little while. I drove to Pottery at like 8 in the morning and then was there until almost 1 o'clock.
Wow.
So most of that time was spent failing. And failing hard. But, that's how you learn. So
yeah,
there were a
absolutely.
couple of nice ladies up there that I spent some time chatting with. But anyway, this is generally speaking a knitting show with some other crafts thrown in. Would you like to talk about what you've been working on?
Sure. I have 2 things that are currently active on the needles. The others are hanging out on the show notes because I have hope that they will become active again soon. But I was supposed to be working on baby stuff this week, and that did not happen at all. Whatever. It'll be fine.
It will be.
The first is a sock. I use the Wendy Johnson's toe-up sock with gusset pattern, which is free on her blog, which is wendyknits.net. And this is a pair of Knit Spin Farms. This is from her sock club, although she has been doing pretty regular updates on yarn. She did a fiber update today, a bad update, and I caught it, but I didn't buy anything.
That's good because you bought like $100 worth of fiber the day before.
Yesterday. Shut up.
Yeah.
I did. That's why I didn't. It was $75 worth. Thank you very much.
Plus, you have at least 5 pounds of Knit Spin Farm fiber.
Probably 5 pounds already spun plus 5 pounds more to spin.
It's not like you don't spin it for sure.
I don't know. I don't know that I have 5 pounds left because I've been keeping up with it. And last year she went on hiatus and I got down to like my last 3 or 4 bats. So I don't know. We'll see. I
feel like an in-depth search would prove you wrong, but
probably.
But Laura's but it's my house and you can't do that. So
she does have the code to my door.
I do.
So she really could, but she wouldn't be able to find it because it's hidden. Actually, it's all in that IKEA bag right in front of my TV.
Turnabout is fair play, and I am not one that should be pointing fingers. So.
So Joanne is a sweetheart, and she owns a farm in Indiana, and she's actually continuing the club. Last year, because it is a working farm, they took off for the summer, but this month they are going to continue with their sock club and fiber club throughout the summer, which is great, but it also means that I need to knit and spin faster. So this was actually last month's club. Look at me. And this month's club hasn't gotten here yet because I have atrocious mail service issues right now.
Well, I think the whole is, yeah. It's not the USPS's fault, and we acknowledge that. So
I had a fleece go missing, and the lady kindly gave me a refund today. And UPS or UP, whatever, United States Postal Service acronyms, whatever, told her that she should just replace the item, and she said. I talked to the sheep, and they're not willing to grow their fleeces. And I told her if it shows up, I will repay-pal her the money. Yeah. I told her I was fine waiting. She's really, really sweet, and it's a Cormo fleece. And, I got a fleece from her last year that was absolutely gorgeous. So I'm kind of disappointed in that. But it's taken 2 weeks for the Knit Spin Farm. She's also in Indiana. And it still has not arrived yet for this month's club, but that's fine. Obviously, I'm in trouble of running out of yarn.
I really like that color combo. What's it called?
I do too. So this is Leslie's get back on task, Laura Catherine.
No, I want to know what the color. I know that I've got one too, but I haven't knit it clearly.
This is the colorway that you accused me of not giving you with the hip string stuff yesterday.
Yeah, I haven't looked for that yet, but I'm sure it's here somewhere.
Leslie came into my house and she's like, "This is my fiber, right?" And I was like, "No, I gave you your fiber like 3 weeks ago. Back off." Anyway, with this yarn, this is Knit Spin Farm. We get the Targhee squirt base because it's my favorite. It's nice and squishy, and I can knit it on size 1 needles, which makes me very excited. And it is 115 grams, 350 yards. This is National Park Week, which is this week. So so there's even stripe. Yeah, they're all even stripes. Sometimes she does stripes that are not even, but she says these are all even stripes. So the tan is to represent Indiana Dunes. The dark brown is to represent the Badlands. The aqua is to represent Virgin Islands. The brick is the Petrified Forest. Yellow is Shenandoah, and turquoise is Critter Lake. The only one of those I've been to is Shenandoah. So this was the March 2021 club. Club colorways, I believe, are exclusive for a year, and then she allows the general public to order them. But yeah, I've got almost the whole foot of a sock knit.
That's amazing.
And I've actually worn out. I don't know if you can see it, but like there's copper colored parts on my needles because I've worn out.
I do that sometimes on those like nickel plated ones.
Yeah, so I've worn off the nickel plating on my Addies. So I think that means that I need to knit more socks. It's actually where I was holding them to try to figure out why they're, because like this is a weird place. It's like an inch up from the join. That's where it butts against.
I was going to say, yeah, it's probably where it hits the palm of your, like the meat of your hand.
So anyway, and I have it in my National Parks bag from Amy Beth. Not because that was like, I had other stuff in here before.
Who's also in Indiana.
I know. There's like a Gary, Indiana. Not that they're in Gary, Indiana, but that's a song. So there's a theme there. So that is the first thing that is, with a very long explanation, that is on my needles. The second thing is a hand spun hat that I'm working on. The second this pattern came out, I was like, I am going to spin for that, and I am going to knit it out of hand spun. And this is the Semblance hat by Hunter Hammerson. The original pattern calls for a bulky. It is really hard for me to spin a bulky, so I did a 3-ply Aran weight, I would say. It's like 120 yards, which is kind of a bulky. I started by casting on 70 stitches on a size 9 needle to try to like get gauge, and it was too large, but also it was too like I could see through the stitches almost. It uses this faux cable, really clever, and it goes in opposite directions. It's an enjoyable knit. It's a little bit hard on my like because you're doing faux cables, so you're knitting through stitches in a way that is not how we normally knit through stitches to create it. So it can be a little bit tough at times. I'm really like, I didn't think that I liked, so it's a 3-ply and I made sure that all the plies were different colors. So I thought maybe it would be too busy for the cables, but it's really cool to see like on the elongated stitches to see all 3 colors in those elongated stitches.
Yeah, I haven't seen this hat, so I clicked the link in our show notes. Show notes are found on our website, which is TheKnitGirlls with 3Ls.com. And it took me to Hunter's site where she's talking about the pattern. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. So the yarn that it calls for is a single ply Madeline Tosh merino in a single color, like a robin's egg blue, which is one of Hunter's favorite colors. And this is what I have. This is, if you've watched us before, like a couple weeks ago, this might look familiar because I had just finished it. So this is Little Houses. It is, it was Knit Spin Farm, Hello Yarn Club colorway from like February. It is not a normal Laura colorway. It's very neutral. And it uses a really interesting breed of sheep that she spoke about, and now I cannot remember the name of it. but they are sheep that are raised to eat grass, like it near, I think, the Baltic Sea, where there's a lot of like levees or dams, and to keep like the grass down around them. So it's like a multi-purpose sheep.
So they're sheep with a job.
Yes. Their job is not just to be cool like Jacob's. I mean, Jacob's were bred to be ornamental, so that's why they got all the crazy horns, and they're spotted.
Yeah,
people would use them as fancy lawn ornaments, but also, you can do fleece and meat from them as well. So those are the two things that I am working on currently. What are you working on, friend?
I'm working on the giant granny square blanket, which is downstairs. It's too big for me to bring up unless I make significant progress. And I think I added a gray stripe and a blue stripe this week. So it's not very like sexy.
So much further, I mean, nothing's as sexy like a granny square blanket, but how much further are you planning on making it?
So I've got 8 more colors. So I've got 16 more rows to do. So if I keep going at my current
like 2
rows a week, then I've got 2 more months. Yeah. So I'll probably only bring it up and show it once every few weeks. I mean, I'm still enjoying it because it's mindless and it's still feel like I'm getting something done, but it's just not super interesting podcast content. But I am working on other stuff. The only other like knitting or crochet thing that I'm working on is I'm still using my little Hohi bag that Teresa sent me. That's super cute. I'm working on a hat out of Laura's hand spun, which it's also a neutrally color that Laura doesn't typically spin. She gave this to me last year. I think I remember saying how much I liked it, and she was like, okay, you can have it.
Yeah. That's usually how things work out.
Yeah.
It goes both ways.
It does.
The other day, so she made me one.
Yeah. So I'm knitting the sockhead hat, or just sort of my rough approximation of the sockhead hat. I used it for numbers, and then I haven't looked back at it since. So I probably will when it goes to the decreases, just to look and see how she did it. But I think it's one of those like knit X, knit 2 together, knit X, knit 2 together, knit a row, and then go down a number. So this is where I'm at. I'm getting close to the part where I need to do decreases, but I also don't have a ton left, so I'll probably go a little further than normal. It'll just be.
So usually, I think that hat is like 4 inches of ribbing, 9 inches of knit.
Yes, I believe that that's the case, and I don't. Oh, I do have a tape measure right here, and it looks like pig.
Oh, does the ear pull out?
Yeah. So I am at actually at about 6.5 inches. So I've still got a ways to go. Because it's meant so that you can like fold up the brim entirely or leave it nice and drapey. I was going to give this to my little sister, but now I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to keep it. Because I like the way that it's coming out. It does get noticeably lighter, about a couple inches down. Just the like the dye color changed at that point.
Yeah, I must have spun that just end to end. I wonder.
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't bother me at all. So
yeah,
because it's lighter at the brim as well, so it just looks intentional.
It probably was spun end to end.
And I'm knitting the body on a size 7, which is a 4.5 millimeter, and I'm just knitting around and around. I knit on this yesterday while we watched the last few episodes of Pottery. Episodes of Pottery. Great Pottery Throwdown, which the person that Laura and I wanted to win did not make it to the end. I'm still annoyed about that, but the person that won was perfectly kind, you know.
Yeah. Everyone
human.
in that show is
Yeah.
very kind human beings.
But I feel like at least with British show, well, maybe I don't know if it's true of all British shows, but people seem to genuinely create relationships there and like friendships, and so you sort of find somebody that you really root for, and that I don't know.
I think this year it was even more so with that show because they were all quarantined together for a long extended time, and the British baking show as well. They were all like together.
Yeah. I do recommend the show, especially this season, because I think the host did a fantastic job.
Yes, and her
Sweeney.
outfits are adorable.
Yes, she's a plus size woman. She's kind of a little bit snarky but kind, and she's not a typical like absolutely gorgeous like model perfect hostess, and it just really makes me happy to see that kind of person get like opportunities like this. So, and she's friggin' hilarious. So
yes, I would just started season 2 of Dairy Girls tonight.
I love Derek.
But then I was having to do research because I didn't understand what was happening.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Some of the political stuff was a little bit beyond, because in the 90s I was not paying a whole lot of attention to Ireland.
And it's not something that we got, like, it was happening when we were in high school, so
or middle
it's not
school,
like something that we were brought up. Yeah, middle school probably during part of it. So yeah, it does. You do have to Google a little bit to figure out what some of these things are, but
yeah.
Anyway, that's it for me for works in progress. You have had a productive week because it's been testing week, and Laura's job is to walk the hallways constantly, never stopping.
So that's a new job. So in the past I've been the testing admin in a room and I've not been able to knit. But this year I am a hall monitor, and I proved to people that I could watch a door and escort kids to the bathroom and knit. So I basically knit a sock a day. One sock I had to rip back the whole, almost the whole sock because I messed up the numbers. But I did get a lot of sock knitting done. So, especially since I've been knitting sport weight socks lately.
Yeah, and it's not like crazy cabled patterns. It's just stockinette socks.
It's stockinette in the round, self-striping. It's really interesting the things that, so there's this thing on TikTok where people take things that they tell, things that they have been told, and make them into inspirational quotes. And if I was to do that this week, it would be I would really like a pair of socks too. Or it's so nice that you're thrifty and make your own garments, and things like that. Or if you make me a pair of socks, I'll make you a custom t-shirt, was one. And I was like, oh, well,
those
that's sweet.
Even investments of time.
But yeah, that's what I was thinking. But he doesn't realize A, cost of yarn, and B, time.
Yeah.
So the first pair of socks that I finished, yay, are for me. They are the Nomadic yarns. Oh my gosh, when I went to link the new colorway in the show notes, she has 76 colorways in stock right now.
Wow. That is
and I was like, I could buy all of these that I don't have. So 5 of them.
Yeah.
But no, she also came out with 4 or 5 new colors this week too.
I'll have to look.
So yeah, there's some pretty ones. But this is Nomadic Yarns. This is her sport weight. This is Bad Guy. So these are for me. I don't have a lot of green in my wardrobe. So originally I was going to knit these for St. Patrick's Day. But they did not get done in time.
Wicked.
Yes, I also like that. So that pair is for me. And then the second pair, Mother's Day is coming up. So I knit them for Mama Linneman for Mother's Day. I haven't woven in the ends. Actually, I had to break the yarn because I didn't have scissors. I had to like,
yeah.
So because I knit them from the toe up, I didn't need to Kitchener with the heel pattern that I do. So that was good. And so I just broke the yarn at the end. So these are the Amore colorway, and I really like them. Like,
so you cast these on and finished them this week?
Yes.
Wow.
Within 2 days, well, 3 days, because I had to, I did my thing where I knit the whole second sock, and instead of 52 stitches around, it was 48. I was like, these numbers are not even. So I had to rip back. But yeah. So these were knit on, so the nomadic, the bad guy, I was on the second sock. Like,
yeah.
I finished the show. And so that was Monday. These were Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
It's amazing that you finished a pair of socks, even sport weight socks, in
not all of Thursday,
3 days.
And then the I started the national parks Thursday afternoon. I mean, I'm walking around home monitoring for like 7 hours a day.
Still, I mean, don't your hands get tired? Jeez.
They do, but then I have to hold the shh, quiet sign every 45 minutes in the hallway. And so, like, when it's class change time, like every 45 minutes, I have a sign on a yardstick that says, shh, quiet, because the kids that are not testing are still rotating. And so that's like a 7-minute break every 45 minutes. So, yeah.
Wow.
So these are for Mama Linneman. I just need to weave in the 4 ends. And then I also, on Wednesday night, I was not feeling like spinning a whole lot. I haven't really spun this week. So I finished seaming I'm going to take off my headphones for a second. So I seamed the shift gal.
Yeah.
So that's done, and it smells like soak. And it's going to be perfect for next winter, because I can just like, it's open enough that it's not like right up on my neck. Like, you could obviously make it smaller if you wanted to, by changing the increase and decrease rate. But yeah,
I dig it.
And I could even pull it up if my ears get cold.
Be a snood.
Yep, I'm gonna leave that on because I don't feel like taking my headphones off. Did I finish anything else? I think that's it.
I mean, 2 pairs of socks and a cowl. Although,
that's
to be fair, it wasn't a lot of work on the cowl this week, but still, 2 pairs of socks is amazing.
Like 30 minutes of seaming, but yeah. And then this coming week, I'm only doing that for 1 day, so I should get at least the first national park sock done. And the second one started, I would think. And then the following week, I have 2 days, so I should get a pair of socks done that week. So, yeah. And then the days that I'm not testing, I'm delivering books to kids and collecting books from kids. I also, the kids that were in the building this week were our virtual kids for testing because they made them come in for testing. And, but before they left, I printed out all the books that they'd owe me from last year.
Oh.
I got like 30 books back.
That's awesome.
I still have like 400 out.
Yeah.
Next year. But it was like all Diary of a Wimpy Kid too, and Dark Diaries. So it made me feel good. Like, we'll have lots of copies of those because those are our most popular books for sure. So yeah, but you finished something too.
Well, I finished some blocks there. It's like I finished some small things that will be part of a bigger thing. So you'll see them again at some point. So I finished 2 of these blocks. This is I got these from a Joann's, which is a big box craft store, when I lived in New Jersey, and they were selling like each little, there were 12 of them, 1 for each month, And each little kit came with all the fabric to do that month's square. And it was already pre-cut to the sizes that it needed to be. You still have to do some trimming after you sew things together, but overall everything was already cut to the same size. The fabric quality isn't great, but I got each kit on clearance for $2, so it's a $24, you know, before adding sashing and stuff, quilt. So this is what it'll look like when it's done.
And batting and stuff.
Yeah.
It'll still be like $100 quilt.
Yeah, well, at least, because batting itself is like 30 or 40 bucks. And then you'll have to do backing fabric, then you have to get sashing fabric, then you have to do binding fabric. But it's not something I'll keep. It's not really the color scheme that I tend towards, but I have a recipient in mind. We'll see if that happens or not. But so I finished 2 of those. Let me grab them. So this is block number 1. Nothing super challenging about it.
That's a lot of peach.
Yeah. And I don't necessarily mind that, but the peach paired with this green is a very specific like color scheme, and it's not.
Yeah,
it's just not
it's
mine.
very like Miami Art Deco.
Yeah. This one is pinwheel, so it's a lot of half square triangles, and they're relatively pointy. I did a decent job. There were some that are better than others, but you know, I trimmed a couple of them incorrectly, so I just sort of had to make it work. So that's 2 of those. And then I finished 3 blocks from my block of the month from Switchback. Well, it was called the Switchback block of the month, and it's from Urban Society. This is all linked in show notes. So these are the blocks. I've got 4 of them done. And so this is block number 2. This one wasn't crazy difficult. This one was block number 3. It had some weird folding thing I had to figure out.
It's giving me like fall holiday vibes, kind of.
And then this is block number 4. This one gave me a lot of grief. So this one is called Pineapple. That's the like pattern, I guess. And it's foundation paper piecing. So in order to add each piece of this, you have to put it on upside down and backwards.
Nope.
And then so it's really, if you have problems with spatial reasoning, it can be tricky. I have done foundation paper piecing before and decided that it wasn't for me. This did not change my mind. I'm glad that I did it, but I do not see it being a huge part of my quilting future. But see, like this is what the back of it looks like. So each piece you have to fold, trim. I will say that a while back, when I did the foundation paper piecing before, I bought one of these add a quarter rulers. And so it's just a regular ruler, but it's got this little lip at 1/4 of an inch.
Oh.
So when you're doing this folding,
you fold it over.
You fold it over, and then you can use this add a quarter, and it sits right on top of the seam. And then you cut off anything extra on top of that, and it just sits right up against the seam really nicely. So I
wonder if Mom knew about that. For her, she's doing that Tula pink paper piecing thing.
Oof, God love her. I don't know. I'll have to ask her, but it really helped, and it was pretty inexpensive. And they come in different sizes and colors and stuff. But yeah, so this one took 2 days. The other ones took like a couple hours. So I haven't done anything. I just finished that one last night, I think. And I started on another square for the Joanne's quilt, but it has applique, and it was fiddly, and it took a while. So that's it.
Gotcha.
For my projects. I do have a little bit of spinning I'll talk about real quickly.
Yeah.
So last week I showed the finished, the one bobbin of finished Hello Yarn patchwork kit, which is just a pound of sort of random odds and ends of different fibers that are in the same color family. This was the first bobbin, and this is on a Starling, a Daedalus Starling. I think mine's a V3.
It is.
So this bobbin holds at least 8 ounces. I think it advertises that it can hold up to 10, and it might. I don't know. I didn't put that much on it. So that was bobbin number 1, and this is bobbin number 2. So I finished spinning the singles.
Yay!
And this one has a lot of peach in it. It's sort of buried, but you can kind of see it right there at the end.
Yeah.
There's a lot of peach, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just not, it's not a color that I gravitate towards, but I don't mind it as part of a larger whole. And I was going to start plying this, but I've had some issues with my wrist this week. I think I am developing carpal tunnel.
Oh no.
Which is not great because
you should get that looked at. Yeah.
I'm going to. I'm going to contact my nurse practitioner tomorrow and see if she's got recommendations. I always go to her first because she has a good relationship with a lot of doctors in the area and can usually match patient and temperament well with a doctor. So, so right now I've got like a Salon Paw. I forget what it's like, a menthol patch, like an icy hot patch, and like ace bandage stuff on it. I have been wearing a brace.
I have a brace if you need one too.
I mean, I got one. It's from like CVS or Walgreens. I don't remember, but it was like $30, and it's got like steel, or I don't know, some kind of metal like frame on the top, and like the spoon thing that rests against your palm. And it does help keep my wrist straight, but it's also adding pressure points of pain with all the metal in it. Like it's just because I'm wearing it constantly, like it's like bruising essentially. So
you're welcome to try mine, because since I don't do textbooks anymore and I'm not lifting, that's when I would use mine a lot. So you're welcome to borrow it and see if it's better.
Mine just sort of came out of the blue. Like I have occasionally had like tingling and numbness in these fingers, like for 10 or 15 minutes after I wake up, but it usually goes away really quickly. And it's not every day. It was like maybe once every couple weeks. So it was never something I really worried about, but it's been giving me a lot of pain this last week. So
I can chain ply for you too if you want me to.
Well, I'm gonna check with it. I'm gonna I have Thursday and Friday off of next week. I just needed to take some time. I haven't taken any time since the beginning of the year. So I am gonna see if I can get a doctor's appointment. If anybody has like tried and true home remedies, I'm totally open to hearing that sort of thing. I'm hoping I can get it knocked out or like alleviated without surgery. I'm not opposed to the idea of surgery if it comes to that, but I feel like that's not an idea I need to embrace 4 days into the pain. Like, let's try other stuff first.
Yeah, so, absolutely. Well, if you want me to apply, just let me know.
A fair amount of spinning and a fair amount of pottery, which requires a lot of like arm and hand strength. So it could just be that I've aggravated it. So we'll see. Anyway, you have not done a ton of spinning this week, but you are working on something.
I have not. So I did ply 2 things and finish them, but I set them out to dry and then it rained.
Yeah, that's the way it is.
They're a little damp still, so I will show you those next week. But I have been spinning on the Superwash BFL nylon from 57 chapter. So I have the first 2 bobbins done. I'm spinning this on a Starling by Daedalus. And then I will ply it, and hopefully it will be a sock-ish weight is the end hope. We will see. So yeah, that's what's getting spun right now. That's what I've been doing as I've been sitting here. I have about this much fiber left. So it should definitely get done this week. And then I have the second half of some Hello Yarn that I spun the first half of and then ordered and had to wait on. Yeah. She sends, unless you tell her, she waits and holds it with your club shipment, which is fine. It's not like I don't have fiber. So plus that finally came.
It's less shipping, I would imagine.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. So the second half of the Bitter Roots and Sweet Fruits, which is a merino wool top cane.
I really liked that when you were spinning that.
Yeah, this was the first. So that is on the Sparrow. And speaking of the Sparrow, I have an awesome new bag that all my Sparrow bits and bobs are in.
I saw this yesterday.
It is a rainbow braid bag.
Yes, it is.
It's to be a toy carrier, but I'm using it as a wheel carrier. This is the Hallmark Rainbow Bright Rainbow Land display carrier. I purchased it off of Amazon because I'm very fancy. And it's got a back pocket and room enough for my Sparrow and 6 bobbins for sure. Probably more. But if I was to take it out, I would wrap some stuff in fiber. But yeah, there's plenty of room in here for sure.
I would like to point out that a 40-year-old woman bought that.
And you know what? When I showed it, other people liked it too. Yeah. So yeah, that's what that's hanging out in.
I mean, you are a grown woman, and if you love Rainbow Bright, you rock on. It is your money.
Yep. So that is where the Sparrow is hanging out when I'm not using it. I was thinking about naming it Canary Yellow because I have a yellow sparrow, and that's the name of the character from Rainbow Bright.
Oh, I was like, I don't understand. Okay.
Because they were all different color kids.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, you weren't as into it.
Sorry. Like, I remember watching something called Snorks, which nobody else believes existed. But
no, it was like the Smurfs, but underwater.
Yeah, they had little, like, things.
Yes.
Yeah.
I even know the theme song. It's like, come along with the Snorks. Have some fun with the Snorks.
Oh. I haven't heard that in forever.
So, like, the Gummy Bear theme song's the best.
Oh, yeah. I know that one. I'm not going to sing it, though, because it'll be used against me at some point in the future. But, yeah, absolutely. As far as reading, I'm still reading the Scales and Spells stories, but I took a series, rather. That's a male-male, adult male-male fantasy. But I also read a book this week called The Hollow Places. I was just in the mood for something different, something that didn't necessarily guarantee a happy ending. And this is a book by T. Kingfisher, which is the pen name of Ursula something.
It's an adult fantasy writer who sometimes dabbles in kids NYA.
Yeah, Ursula something.
Kingfisher name is mostly kids NYA, although she has some disagreements with her publishers
about what's classified as.
Yeah, which is common in the fantasy realm.
Yeah,
especially when it comes to like 20-year-olds.
Well, The Hollow Places is I would say it's kind of a horror book. It's one of those like where you don't. I would say if you've ever read Jeff Vandermeer, the one, oh God, what's that book called? Where there's Area X. I forget what it's called now. It's super popular. Hang on a second. If you ever read Jeff Vandermeer, let's see. Annihilation, is that what it was? Or Acceptance? No, it's not. I'm sorry. Hang on a second. I gotta. There was a whole movie about it with what's her face. God,
so many details.
I'm sorry. I am like screwing this up. Annihilation Authority.
Was what's his name in it too?
I think Annihilation was what it was called. So it's basically sort of psychological horror, kind of. It's a difficult genre to explain. It was a good book, and it has prompted me to download a sample of another book from this author, but it's not something I could see Laura reading.
No. You said psychological horror, and I was out.
I feel like that's not quite right, but like, I'm trying to think of a way to explain it that wouldn't spoil it. Like,
psychological horror makes me think of like Silence of the Lambs.
It's not quite
or the
that.
Jeffrey, like the Jeffrey Deaver, like Bone Collectors.
I haven't read that, but this woman is at her uncle's like random little tiny town museum and discovers a hole in the wall that's like a portal to another place, but this other place is malevolent, and it's got like bad people that you can't see but you can feel them, and they can hear you think. It's very weird, but it's a cool book. So I read that, and I'm still watching Taskmaster, which is a British comedy panel show. On season 7. I think there are 11 seasons total. I'm really enjoying it, and one of our viewers recommended some other shows like Would I Lie to You, and some other ones that I forget the name of right now, but I add them to my list. So.
Some of those might be on BritBox too.
Yeah, well, I'm watching them all on YouTube, and because Michael added us as family, I don't have to watch commercials on YouTube anymore. Yay!
Yep.
So, anyway, that's what I've been reading.
I'm glad your husband added you as family.
I know, right? I mean, it would be too much to ask him to add me as an administrator on anything on our home network, but YouTube, it's probably safe.
Cool.
Anyway, what about you? What have you been reading?
I finished reading The Knowledge Gap for my CEU, which is an adult education nonfiction book. If you're interested in the history of literacy in the United States, you can pick it up. Otherwise, meh. And then Aster and the Accidental Magic, which is a middle grade fantasy graphic novel, and now I want to buy the second one. It's just cute and fun, and just a good time. I'm not allowed to read as I hall monitor, and I'm not allowed to have a phone or a watch, which is how I got so much knitting done. So I haven't been reading or listening to a ton recently. I did pick back up the Alana Andrews last one in the Legacy series. So, yep, that's it for me. I've just been chilling like a villain.
I don't think we have anything else.
Nope, we need to talk about Stash Dash. Actually, I'm going to put up a poll in the show notes because we are going to host Stash Dash a little bit differently this year. We are going to host it off Ravelry, and I want to know what platform, whether it is Mighty Network or Slack or Discord, would work best for the most people. We'll also host it on Ravelry as well, but for I want another option for people who cannot be on Ravelry because they physically cannot be on Ravelry. Right. So we're going to host it in a couple different places this year. I just want to make sure our secondary option, which is not going to be Facebook or Instagram, just because it's too hard to keep up with there on Instagram, and I just don't do Facebook. So I want someplace else.
Yeah.
So Discord, which my children learned about this week, and learned that it wasn't blocked on school computers.
Oh, yay.
And my principal, bless his heart, is like not super tech. So me trying to explain,
good guy, but yeah, it's probably not
like super good guy. But like I explained 3D printing to him the other day. And I also explained Discord to him and how my sister was a pinball ninja. So all those things. Because then I said, I wonder if where people can post little videos, not TikTok. No.
Snapchat?
No. Snapchat's blocked. That's old school.
Vine?
Snapchat's
Didn't Vine?
Yeah, no. Vine's gone. TikTok kind of replaced Vine. No, where people live stream stuff, not YouTube, but Twitch.
Twitch. Oh, okay.
I was like, I wonder if Twitch is blocked. And that led to Bacthina, pinball wizard slash ninja slash.
You're a very crafty family in one way or another.
Yeah, we all do fiber crafts, but
except Matt.
That's true. But other people do other things. My brother does a lot of like video game type stuff.
Yeah.
And so does my sister. So yeah. Yeah, I got nothing. I don't even know where. I'll try to put up like a little poll.
Okay.
To see which would be best, or you can just respond in the YouTube comment or the comments on the blog. There we go. Or on the Ravelry page or whatever works best for y'all.
Yeah, Ravelry page probably isn't a great idea for people that can't use Ravelry, but
yeah.
I'll think some more on that. See how we can.
Yeah, we can always put up Google.
Yeah, and just link it and let people get to it. Yeah.
I'll let you do that.
Oh, you see how that happened? That's how my job goes all the time too.
That's how my job goes too.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to talk to you about something later. Not right now.
That sounds ominous.
Woo. No, It's Been Farm changed her Bat Club options. So I want to see what you want your Bat Club to be.
Oh, okay. I'll take a look. You sent me that email.
I did. I know what mine's going to be, so I just need to know because she's allowing us to do different ones.
Yeah. I'll probably do the color family one. I like that idea.
Yes, so it's 3 months of the same color family, and it's mint. I'm super stoked. That's what I was going to do.
Yeah, I think that's what I'll probably do.
I'll reply and let her know that.
Awesome. But yeah, I think that's it. You guys have an awesome week, and we'll talk to you again next week. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all. Enjoy Ramadan for people who are celebrating.
Oh yeah, it started already, right?
Yes, it started last Tuesday, I believe. So yeah.
All right. Well, you guys have an awesome week. Talk to you again soon.
Bye, y'all. Bye.